Okay, so welcome to Mathstoria, and let's have this graphing polar equations. So if the given polar equation on this form, r equals a sine theta and r equals a cosine theta, so the graph is a circle, but for r equals a sine theta, so the graph is on the y-axis. So this point is a. This point is a over 2. This one is also a over 2 and negative a over 2. So the graph of this equation passes through this point. So this is now the graph for r equals a sine theta. Then for r equals a cosine theta, so the graph is on the x-axis for cosine theta. And this point is a, this one is a over 2. We have negative a over 2 and positive a over 2. So the graph passes through these points. So this is now the graph for r equals a cosine theta. Then for this given, so r equals 6 sine theta. So a is equal to 6 and a over 2 or 1/2 of a. That's 6 divided by 2, that's equal to 3. So to graph now this polar equation, since this one is sine theta, so the graph is on the y-axis. So a equals 6, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then a over 2 is equal to 3, so this one is 3. Also this one is positive 3. And we have this negative 3. So the graph of this equation passes through these points. And this is now the graph of r equals 6 sine theta. Then for this given, r equals 4 cosine theta. So a is equal to 4 and a over 2, that's 4 divided by 2, that's equal to 2. So to graph now this polar equation, since cosine theta, so the graph is on the x-axis. Then a equals 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then a over 2, that's 2. So this one is 2. Also this one is negative 2. And we have this positive 2. So the graph now of this polar equation passes through these points. And this is now the graph for r equals 4 cosine theta. Then for this given, r equals negative 7 sine theta. So a is equal to negative 7 and a over 2, that's negative 7 over 2, or that's negative 3 and 1/2. So to graph now this polar equation, since sine theta is negative, so it's on negative y-axis. Then a is equal to negative 7, so negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. This one is negative 7. Then a over 2 is negative 3 and 1/2. So 1, 2, 3. This one is 3 and 1/2. So this one is negative 7 over 2. Then we also have this 3 and 1/2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is 7 over 2. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is negative 7 over 2. So the graph now of this polar equation passes through these points. So A is negative 7, then this 7 over 2, 7 over 2, and the origin. So this is now the graph of this r equals negative 7 sine theta. Then for this given, r equals negative 5 cosine theta. So A is equal to negative 5, and A over 2, that's equal to negative 5 over 2, or that's negative 2 and 1/2. So to graph now this polar equation, since negative cosine, so it's on the negative x. Then A is negative 5, so negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and negative 5. Then A over 2, that's negative 2 and 1/2, so negative 2 and 1/2. This one is negative 5 over 2. Then we will solve this negative 5 over 2. This one is 5 over 2. Then 1, 2, 3. So this one is negative 5 over 2. So the graph now of this polar equation passes through these points. A is negative 5. Then we have this 5 over 2. This 5 over 2. And the origin. So this is now the graph of this r equals negative 5 cosine theta.